and this is just me talking, but I think that if your kid goes to a school and they're not teaching something about AI, some type of AI prompting, some type of AI governance or ethics or something like that, your kid probably going to jail. I'm just saying. I know that's extreme, but just think about it. They're saying that most jobs will be taken over by AI in the near future in 2030. That's less than 5 years away. So if you got a high school student that's in a school that the superintendent or the administration has not talked about some type of AI, your kid is done. Like I said, they've been talking about for the last 2 or 3 years that in 2030, most of the jobs will be taken over from by AI. And what we've been hearing more than ever is that it's not going to be the AIs that's going to take over the job. It's going to be people that know AI that are going to be taking your job. So with that being said, let's talk about teachers. What does that look like in 5 years, right? I got some things that I thought about. I've been going to a couple of these ed conferences, and I'm telling you, they got more Edtech than you can think of. The last time I went to an Edtech conference, which was a great conference, it was the ASU conference, and it was great in San Diego. I was actually a AI innovator. Feel me? So when I was there was a lot of AI industry juggernauts there that have now siphoned money from their larger projects into these Edtech smaller projects, and now they're at these events and they're telling you what Edtech is going to look like, well, what education is going to look like, and it's going to have a lot of Edtech in it. And I believe it, but I don't think it's going to be a someone on the screen teaching the kids and it's just rows of kids and no person in the classroom and just a big screen TV. No, it's not how it's going to work. What's going to happen is let's get back to the conference. So you at this conference and they have every tutoring app you can think of. They got an app that is a person telling you what to do, to a bear, to a monkey, to a giraffe. They got all kind of stuff there for you. Anything that you can think of. And while I was there, I said, is it moving so fast? This was in April. It's August now. I said, is it moving so fast that everybody's just going to be doing the same thing? And yes, it's moving so fast that everybody's doing the same thing. But this is how the game is going to change for schools. Listen, I'm telling you here, you got the game here first. All right, guys, listen. This is how it's going to work. What's going to happen is school systems are going to implement AI. And what is going to happen is some of the marginalized communities aren't going to have a chance of doing the learning curve, meaning that you've had months or years of professional development as a teacher, as an administrator, as an executive inside of your school system. But you haven't. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to end up happening is it's going to be like a mandatory 27-minute safe school something where they're going to try to teach you about AI in 27 minutes, the governors and all of the ethics in 20 minutes, and then they're going to make you take a test, and then you'll have to pass the test. But you'll still have AI on your servers that you won't know how to do because you didn't have a PD, and you're going to have AI programs that you don't know how to use, like creating your lesson plan for the month or for the year. You're not going to know how to do that because they're not going to give you a PD in it. And your kids are still going to be using LLMs, and you're not even going to know what an LLM is because you're a teacher and you're going to still think of people using chat, but you don't use chat because you use something free and the free version is trash. and you're trying to figure out how Jacob, that at the beginning of the year couldn't spell mayonnaise, is now the most articulate student when it comes to writing an essay on Christopher Columbus. Because you didn't give them the right information at the very beginning. You didn't teach them how to prompt correctly, therefore they're cheating. Well, you think they're cheating, and you don't even understand how to check to make sure that they're not doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, because you're not using the apps in your server that allows you to create these plans that not only help students learn, but actually help them prompt so that they can learn. So, with all that being said, this is how it's gonna happen. This is the new world of teaching. Listen to me. The problem with most schools is that the school that you attend is going to have students that, or your student attends, is going to have students that are not on the same level as other students in their grade, right? No child left behind, all that type of stuff. So you'll have third graders that are reading at a first grade or a second grade level. And in order to supplement the learning so that they can get back on track, what you have to do is you have to take them out of the classroom, right? And it's usually during some type of downtime, so they don't get the downtime. They working all day pretty much. They come out of the classroom. God forbid they feel ostracized because they're not in the classroom with their friends doing whatever part of the day that they're doing at this time, because the student has to get the supplement. They have to get the supplementation of the learning. They have to. And then they come back to the classroom, and God forbid that there wasn't free time and that they were going over a lesson. Now the student is even behind in his grade that he's in now. So you got a lot of that going on, right? You also have teacher being overwhelmed, and I get it. Teachers become overwhelmed. It is what it is. You got 25 students in a classroom, 5 of them on level and 20 of them are not on level. And all of them learn differently, but you got a generic IEP that says something about when a kid gets frustrated, you get to walk them outside, right? And four kids in the class had that same thing in their IEP. And if you didn't know, IEP is an individual learning plan, right? So what's going to happen is, in the future, students are going to have their own individual tablet. And on this individual tablet, what they'll have is in the tablet agent. And this agent is going to do assessments on the student before the lesson plan, right? Before the lesson. So Jimmy and John will be learning about how to spell Philadelphia, but since Johnny is a more visual and the other student is a more hands-on, the lesson plan will be different. They'll both be learning about Philadelphia, but one might be doing something where the words are coming up on the screen. One student might be doing one where it's music. One might be doing one where it's more of moving things on the screen. It's more interactive. And then what'll happen is, instead of a teacher, an instructor. This is what I'm saying, an instructor. It's not a lot of people graduating with teaching degrees nowadays. So they're going to be able to use instructors that will have some form of AI intelligence in their ear. And the AI intelligence will say something like, well, Jimmy's having a problem with number 13. Go check on him. And they'll go over to Jimmy, and they'll see that Jimmy learns as a hands-on. So she's able to come on and look at the screen, see how Jimmy learns, and then is able to help Jimmy in the way he learns, right? Same thing if they're doing a group project. It might say something like, there's group 3 is having an issue with number 4. Go and help. And she goes over there and she sees how everyone in the group learns, and then she's able to help those students the way that they're able to learn, right? And then after the lesson, They put the tablets away, and then there's a screen, and then they still learn about Philadelphia. So the lesson was about Philadelphia. Now they learned about Philadelphia, and everybody can come together. Excuse me. Everyone can come together and talk about Philadelphia because they all learned it in the same way. Nobody was ostracized. Nobody had to be taken out of the classroom. Jimmy's tablet wasn't like Johnny's tablet, and that's okay. And that's how education is going to be. So what that means is all of you educators that are talking about you don't care about AI's here and gone, you are the same people that was talking about you weren't going to send emails. Well, actually, that was before you. So if you are in the school system, and I'm going to say this as gently as possible. If you're in the school system and you don't care about AI, that's fine. Just quit. Because you're setting the kids up for failure. You talking about a prison pipeline. If you setting these kids up to go find jobs and you're not giving them the skills, then you are contributing to what's going on out here. So, what you guys think? I think that AI is moving so fast that it's going to be a point in time where we're going to have to just sit back and use some of this generative AI, because when this agentic AI comes around and y'all not prepared for it, y'all don't understand what that generative AI is, you going to be in trouble. And we all know that it's a spot at the bottom of every list for the marginalized community. And it pains my heart to know that those people look like me. So I try to give as much information to my people as possible, and that is to learn about AI and learn about the basics. Learn about what an LLM is. Learn about why an NLP works. Learn about neural networking. Learn about all of those things so that you'll be able to use the chats and the co-pilots and the Geminis the way that you can use them so it benefits you, not so that you use it and it's your crutch. Now you have to use it. No, use it so that you're critical thinking about every time you use it, right? I talk on some panels. I do some keynote speaking. DM me if you want that information. Also follow me and save. Forget to do that all the time. Here's the information right here, right? And I go to these speaking engagements and I do these speaking engagements and I'm there and I'm probably the only black male. It might be one or two of us, right? And we usually the keynotes, right? It's usually we there on a panel of some sort, right? But in the audience, it's not a lot of people that look like me, right? And that's not cool. We got to figure out how do we use these generative tools to create our own rooms. And we have the ability to do that now with these tools. I know that we always talk about sitting at the table, and that's fine. We can definitely sit at the table. But we need our own room so that we can create our own table as well. There's nothing wrong with being at that table, but we need our own table. And I think that I've said this millions of times. This is going to be our biggest, for me and for you, this is going to be the biggest socio-economical gap you're ever going to see. It's going to be huge, right? And you're going to have people that use AI to better their skills so that their place in the world is secure, or you're going to have people that are using AI to do shit like, excuse my language, finding 10 best things that everybody's talking about so you can create content so you can get 1 million people on your page, and then you get 1 million people on your page. And then what? It doesn't make sense. If you're using AI to find what content you need to be putting on, and it's not even your content, it's like what everybody wants to know about give me 30 things. Give me the 10 things everybody wants to know about. Give me 30 days worth of content. Bro, that's not sustainable. The people that are telling you to do this, you're using their content. Use AI right now to build your brand, right? And what I mean by that is use it to create a commercial. Use it to create your stills. Use it so that you now have a marketing campaign, where you can use all these things through Sura, VO3, VO4. Chat will even give you some of the branding information. It'll create it for you. This is what you need to be doing. Don't get caught up in this creator vibe thing. Don't do it. You're setting yourself up for failure. Use AI to craft your skills. If you are a receptionist and you're scared that AI is going to take your job being a receptionist, you're probably right. But as a receptionist, you have a lot of transferable skills. You are the most people person in the world. You need to be asking AI, how do you develop these skills better or more? Enhance them, or what position, what career can I use my transferable skills in? And then you might say, I have all of these skills. How can I create my own lane? How can I create my own lane? People keep on talking about reparations. I'm talking about innovations. It's 2025. It's no way in the world that I go to these tech conferences and I go to these, I talk on these panels, and I got 15 people in the audience that are coders that do some of the most some of the best work I've ever seen. The UX is crazy. I had a young lady show me her page. It was crazy. And she's trying to get a job somewhere. I can't knock her, but I'm like, I would hire you. I have a team of people that would love to help you create your own. And then what happens when you create your own, you create for me as well, right? So now we bounce off each other. I help you, you help me. You use me as an employee, I use you as an employee. Ain't no hookups. Because when I ask you to work for me, I need you to work. And that's where we need to be at with it. I think that if we start looking at it like that, we'll start thinking about this whole AI thing different. But that comes from positive psychology, folks. And the first thing we do when we go into business is, so I got a 6-hour AI blueprint accelerator. And in these 6 hours we come into businesses, we help them identify some of their bottlenecks, some of the repetitive processes. We also ask them what they want AI to do, how they use AI, what they want AI to do for them, how we can help them. But it's more of implementation. I said all this to say this. We are at a point that we should be able to use these tools to bridge this gap that we have, right? We, in the marginalized community, let's just say it's black folks, we 13% of the commerce, meaning that we spend 13% of everything that's getting bought. We buy 13%, which is crazy because we don't own even 1% of land, right? We own more land in 1910 than we do now. We had 1.9 then, and we got 0.9 now, so 100% almost lost. Somebody out there do the math. I'm sure somebody will let me know that I'm wrong. But I say that to say, why can't we use this to help better, right? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm part of that generation where I saw the internet and nobody told me what the internet was going to be, right? Nobody was in my neighborhood talking about start learning how to code and go to Microsoft school or Google school or whatever, right? Nobody told me that. And then social media came, and nobody told me about that one. Well, AI's here. It's been here, and I'm telling you about it. We need to take advantage of this, and we need to make sure that whatever we're doing, that we're using it as a tool, not a crutch. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to know about it. Sooner or later. It's like politics. You don't have to vote, or you don't have to be involved in politics, but politics is involved in you. So, let me know what you guys think. We covered a couple different things today. Make sure you follow. Let me know what you're thinking about. AI is a big, big thing. Let me get back to what I was talking about. So, and what we do is when we go to these companies and we help them with their integration of AI, the first thing we do is we do about 45 to 50 minutes of just positive psychology. And this positive psychology specializes in just three things: growth mindset, learned optimism, and critical thinking. And what this does is this allows our client to feel a little bit more vulnerable, but in a safe space. And what that allows us to do is make those critical decisions on how AI can be implemented into your business to help you scale. But why we do the positive psychology is because a lot of times people don't think of AI as a tool to use to make things better. They think of it as a supplement, and it's not. You have to have things in place in order for AI to work its best, right? And in order to have that mindset, you have to have a growth mindset, right? You have to know that in order to get to here, we have to do these things first, right? And with that, you have to also have to learn optimism, because you're probably going to find out with these 6 hours that you might have been doing some things very bad, but you're also going to find some things that you've been doing great. And how we use that positive psychology, because we're going to build on those great things, right? Positive psychology is about finding your qualities, finding that characteristic that makes you different, finding that characteristic that when you come into a room, it makes the room better. But what makes you different is that you use that skill to make the room better, right? So AI can be correlated with positive psychology because you want to use AI as a tool that's going to help you grow. Growth mindset, as well as it's going to help you develop things that you'll be able to use in the future. So that's your critical thinking. So I hope you guys had a good time. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We did a quick 25 minutes. We'll do more next time. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you all. You all have a great day. The Perkins Institute, you can follow me at Omar Perkins Jr. at Instagram, or the Perkins Institute at Instagram, or TPI Tech Coach on Instagram. On Facebook, you can follow me at the Perkins Institute. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Much love. See ya.